Hi all, welcome to Learning with me. So I think today we're going to talk about language loss and language standardization. Because these two ideas are interrelated. So when a language has become an official language, it actually gets promoted, gets to be taught in school. Everybody is using that. Every single official documents will be in those languages. And then, that also triggers the language loss because other languages, minority languages, language in the community gets to be, forgotten about that because, a lot of people, will say, well, there's no use in the minority languages anymore, or in other languages, we should not. Or actually, people will say, especially younger generations will say, there's no use in that. Why do I need to actually study that, right? So for example, basically I was born and raised in Thailand, but in a bilingual Thai-Chinese family. And then, I actually went to a Chinese school when I was growing up. So I studied Chinese and Thai. I didn't actually study English. English is my third language. And then I still remember that my grandparents told my parents that, they should not speak Chinese to me because they didn't want, my grandparents didn't want me to have a Chinese accent when I speak Thai, so. Yeah, I think it's just because they, my grandparents may have bad experiences growing, moving from China to the US, and, they might have experienced some sort of racism and discrimination, in the community or in the society, and they didn't want, me, the third generation, their grandchildren, to have gone through those experiences. So basically, my grandparents spoke Thai, Chinese and Thai. My parents are speaking Chinese and Thai, and they, my father can actually still read Chinese. They can still, they may not be able to write Chinese. I'm not sure, but I think they, I think my dad can still write Chinese. Coming to, my brothers and I, basically, Chinese basically is lost in the in the transition. So we my older brother can still understand Chinese. He may be able to speak. I'm not sure about writing. I really have no writing anymore. I could not write in Chinese anymore. I can understand some words in Chinese. My younger brother, no Chinese to him whatsoever. Gone within So as you can see here, it's only 3 generations to lose a language, right? So think about language loss that I mentioned earlier. So basically, it takes only 3 generations to lose a language in a family. In the same thing with a community, you would visit a community, and you have grandparents, parents, and the young generation. That is the same model to lose a language without using it. So language standardization is great, but it also kind of kill other language as well. So that's why we have the language loss. So if somebody asks me whether I am okay with a language to be a standard or a standardized, one language to become an official language, I said yes, but we also need to think about other languages because it will eventually gone in the field of language learning and teaching, or in the literacy scholarship. Basically, we talk about English. English has become the language that has been dominant in almost every society and is killing other minority languages. Since the English has become an official language to a lot of countries, over 6,000-7,000 minority languages has gone extinct. So some community may be able to retrieve them back because they have some certain types of records, either audio, or oral histories, or written histories. Those were lucky to have those, but for others they may not have it because they did not anticipate the loss within the 3 generation that could happen with actually anyone in any languages. So if you happens to live in the US, if you actually hear me talking to bilingual parents in the US or in the city that I am here, I always say try to speak to the children in 2 languages. Expose them to 2 languages or 3 languages if you speak them, because even though it may delay the child's language development, but it's actually better and good for the children, for the babies in the long run, because the scientifically speaking bilingual people who speaks 2 languages or more have lesser chances of having dementia and Alzheimer's. So it has some certain benefits. It also and they also can reconnect with grandparents. They can talk with other people in different languages. Being able to switch languages is actually a really cool thing. I'm not speaking about myself, but for me, I think it fascinates me when actually I see people who can speak more than 1 language or more than 2 languages, for example. That is amazing. So that's why I want people to actually learn another language, to study it. And if you have parents or partners or who speaks other languages, please encourage them to speak those languages to you or to the babies that you're having, because they will thank you later for sure, because having the ability to speak 2 languages opens up other possibilities of job opportunities, or reconnecting with their roots, and other things, right? So having ability to speak these languages is amazing. Please take them. Don't take it for granted. It may extinct, happened to me. Chinese has become so-called my heritage language. I have to go back to school to retrieve those back. I cannot just watch TV or just study. I can study on my own, but it will take me longer time to do that. So I will actually go back home or go back to school to take Chinese lessons again, because I like to be able to reconnect with the histories that I came from. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something today, and if you do, please subscribe to the channel. That'd be grateful. And then if you have any other questions, please ask. If you have any comments about these certain topics, please write down below, and I will come back to respond. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.